Hey, welcome to Loose Change, still available in a 99-cent grab bag. I'm Jim Evans. Thanks for joining us, and you'll be glad you did. We have a really great guest, as we always do. It's going to be a lot of fun, so hang around. As we do top of the program, what's been going on lately? I was not too long ago at home, and I'm laying on the couch, and TV's on, and I'm dozing in and out. And then I see what I think is a story about the train that runs around in the Eastwood Mall crashed into a store. And I see this big caboose sticking out. And then I look closer and realize it's just the Kardashians show. How about Donald Trump, huh? What a lightning rod that guy is. Always something to say. And this was kind of a rumor that was going around. I don't know. He said if he gets elected president, he really wants to help out the people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio. And he says he has a big plan to do that. What he would do, he has a group of people that are in place that would build a wall around Cleveland Browns Stadium to prevent fans from getting in. That might not be a bad idea. And the Turnpike Commission recently sent Browns wide receiver Taylor Gabriel an easy pass. He dropped it. We can always use those. NBA star Chris Bosh and his wife not long ago had twins. Everything went great. Everyone was really excited, including Bosch's girlfriend too. So, it was a big thing. And Greg, I was out in the lobby talking to your limo driver before we got going. And we were talking about the new Rocky movie that's out. Although it's not called Rocky, it's called Creed. And they feature Apollo Creed's son. He's the big character. Somehow Rocky is involved, but they're not going to match up apparently. What will happen is that Creed fights the son of Bone Crusher Smith, while Rocky now fights osteoporosis. Hey, we've got a knockout guest coming up. Gary Housteau joins us next here on Loose Change. Be right back.
You can watch your favorite TV shows here, or even here. Anywhere there's an internet connection. With your Armstrong subscription and access to the internet, you can watch TV everywhere in your home or on the go. Download apps from your favorite networks like FX, ESPN, Sprout, and more directly to your wireless device. Sign in once and start watching. Take Armstrong TV with you everywhere. One wire, infinite possibilities.
Welcome back to Loose Change. See, I wasn't kidding, was I? I'm Jim Evans, along with our very special guest. It's my privilege to have a local sports writer, photographer, and great guy, Gary Housteau. Gary, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Jim. It's a privilege to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're excited to have you. And what we like to do, what we always do when people sit in that chair, is for those who don't know, start off with a little background information. Where you're from, where you went to school, how your career path took shape.
Sure. I'm a local guy. I went to Woodrow Wilson High School, graduated in '82, played a little football there, a couple of years all-conference, and a De Niro Award winner back in the day.
Nice.
They don't have that anymore. But
yeah.
Went to college, played a little small ball, Mount Union type, Adrian College.
My
Division
brother
3.
went there briefly, yep.
So we played against him, actually. So it was just a chance to play middle guard, which was what I did, and Adrian was a 50 program, and I just decided to go. There is a little pipeline from this area to Adrian, believe it or not. So a lot of guys have went there. And came back and started to do a little stringing work for the Vindicator with my brother Chuck, obviously, and my late brother Chucky. It's ironic that 5 years ago, November 19th, 2010.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
He passed. But Chuck was a big force for my career because he helped get me started with the Valley's Playbook. I don't know if you remember that publication.
Sure do.
Obviously,
that was a great thing.
He had the Crunch Time column. It was a unique thing that he started. Monthly tabloid. We covered high school football and YSU and Jim Tressel. So I learned a little bit of writing skills from my brother, and then my brother Ray. He got involved with photography, or got me involved with photography, sort of, just as a hobby. Never imagined it, and it's led to a good thing for me because as the playbook went for 10 years, it was a good product while it lasted. It just kind of got to the point where it became too big to either make a business out of it or not, and we had too many things going on. And I would help out with at the time Buckeye Sports Bulletin
Okay.
in Columbus, doing articles up here for them, recruiting articles. And when I would go to games, I would go down there and stop in and say hi and just develop a relationship with them. And before you know it, when we folded in 1999, after a 10-year run, I got involved with them sort of like a full-time basis, if you will. Back then, the internet really wasn't as strong as just we had a publication, magazine, and that's how you got. Now it's like night and day the difference with recruiting and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I just I started doing a little bit of work for them, and then the 2001 season, Jim Tressell's first year at The Ohio State University, I was able to become a photographer and a writer with them, and I've been doing it for 15. This is my 15th season now. Haven't missed a home game, and I've been privileged to have the chance to go to 2 national championships, which we both lost. Those ones, unfortunately, didn't go last year, and a couple Big Ten championships, won one, lost one, and been to the Big House, all the stadiums, in the big, pretty much all of them, not all of them, but most of them, and the 2006 Michigan-Ohio State 1-2 game, I think it was, in Ohio Stadium, was one of the individual career highlight games that I've had. So I've gotten to meet great people. Coach Ginn, for instance, from Cleveland Glenville. Guys, Coach Tressell, now 4 titles at YSU. I've witnessed them all, one at Ohio State. People I would never have gotten a chance to meet and have associations with, kind of like yourself. And now I'm just keeping busy trying to I do a little radio on once in a while, and I make that trip down to I-71 in Columbus, every home game, and hope to keep doing it for a while.
Great deal, absolutely. And so, maybe, being involved as you are, as you have been, wasn't necessarily your ultimate goal when you were in college, and what were you going to pursue?
I was a math major and didn't know what I wanted to do, and got out of school and was kind of working, got involved with finance, which my brother Ray was doing at the time, and just wasn't, I really enjoyed sports, so I started trying to do more and more, with still not a clear path of what I wanted to do. So it turned a hobby, like photography, for instance, into something that I do now, as to keep busy, and I really enjoy both of them. Not many people write and do photography.
Right.
So I get a little bit of both. I pick brains of both genres, if you will, and met some great photographers. Again, locally, guys like Bob Yosei and Bill Lewis that I've never had a relationship with, and writers like people in the media like Jim Campbell and stuff, that, as you know, and Ron Potesto, I was on with the radio on 1390 AM.
Right.
So I've just been blessed to be around good people and meet good people, because my brother Chuck decided to get us involved with the Valley's Playbook back in 1980. If I may, Jim, the first issue is, as I was recalling some of the things, 1989 was Don Butchie going it alone, and people remember Ron Stoops was his sidekick, right-hand man for years and years and years. And he passed that year against Boardman.
I was at that game, covering that game.
There you go. And 1989, I believe, I hope I'm not messing up the dates, was the first, because he came out, that was our first playbook that was on the cover, going it alone with Don Butchie, and without Ron Stoops.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and look at the Stoops family, and boy, what he'd been blessed with to see what
I know
his
how
kids
big of a part he
how much-
was of the,
and how much they've
program.
accomplished because of what he instilled in them. So.
Yeah, absolutely, the whole family. But what is more challenging for you, the writing part, the photography part, or either or?
They're both a labor of love, if you will. I mean, I get a chance to during the game, obviously take the pictures and keep busy that way. And when the game's over is when I really get to work. We go to the press conference, we do some interviews, we go back up to the press box. 8 o'clock game, for instance, so we just had a couple there in Columbus. Just for instance, game's over 11:30, press conference, Urban's late comer to the press conference. 12:30, press box, 2:30, write a story before I leave, and then head up I-71. This week I got home like 5:36. I had to take a break or two on the highway to come up. Long day, we tailgate ahead of time. Meet great people in the tailgate a lot.
Sure.
We've tailgated with the Elliots and the Bozes and families like that, and the Bucknut guys, and it's been great. So it's a labor of love. I enjoy both, and writing takes longer because photographer would you get to see your work right away, and then you have to edit everything and send them pictures they use with pictures, or or writing. Then I do my writing and do another story on Sunday, do pictures. So my Sundays are all still doing Ohio State stuff from Saturday.
Today's technology has helped
Oh,
some, hasn't it?
yeah, when we
A little bit.
you would have to, excuse me, go to the store, get your pictures.
Yeah.
1 hour service even, or next day if it was late, or who knew? And then you get them and you go through them, and then you had to scan them, and then you had to. Young kids now that are getting started in the business, boy, they have it made, and they really don't know. And when I first started, we were even developing film in a black room.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's like, wow, what's that? So it's been a great learning experience. It's been a lot of fun. Again, it's not something that I raised my family on, but it's something that I've been able to supplement my regular job, and I continue to do it now, taking pictures of different things right now that are unrelated to football.
Right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk a whole lot more. Gary Housteau here on Loose Change. We'll be right back.
Armstrong, one wire, infinite possibilities.
Here we are back on Loose Change. I'm along with Gary Housteau, and we're talking about sports photography and writing and a lot of things related. And when you go to a game, be it Ohio State, high school, whatever, and you're doing the photography thing. Explain how that plays out for those who don't know. I mean, are you snapping shots every play? How does it all work?
Yeah, well, I typically try to go early and get some pregame shots so you can get like quarterbacks or a couple individual shots you wouldn't have the chance to get maybe on the field. And in the early part of the season, it's still light out, so you can get your best shots then while you got light, because some of the fields aren't lit very well, so it's kind of hard to get great shots at that point. So I go through, I talk to the coaches, say hello, always greet certain coaches and develop a relationship along the way, and by this time I've pretty much met most of the coaches in the area one way or another. And you just say hello and you get ready to work, and you do the coin toss or something, get some close-ups. A lot of parents obviously, and the kids themselves love to look at the pictures and see themselves on. A lot of my work is on Scouting Ohio with Mark Porter. He does great work for helping kids get to college in this area. And I just post a lot of my shots right on there. And one way or another, the parents see them or the players, and everybody's excited about that. So, and then during the game, I usually follow the football. In Ohio State, we usually just sit in the end zones, and you got out the bigger lens, and you kind of watch it because it comes to you. You're always in front of the action, So if they're coming this way, you're in this end zone, and then flip quarters, and you sit in that end zone, and hopefully you're in the right place when they score a touchdown. If not, you got some long lens. You have to try to get the best shot you can. And then high school, I pretty much take a smaller lens and walk up and down the field.
Yeah, I've seen you.
So you don't want to sit in the end zone too much. A lot of it's dark anyway there. You can't see as much as well. And then, like I said, usually go home. I dump my stuff on the hard drive, and then Friday night, get ready to go to Buckeye game on Saturday and do the same thing again. And it's pretty much the same routine, except like I said, I sit in the end zone for the most part. Because a lot of the sidelines not only are the sidelines full at a college game, but you don't want the touchdowns running right by you, and then they're going to the end zone. You want them to come right into your lens if you could, or at least you're in that area to get them. If they're on defense, a fumble, interception, sack, they're coming your way, hopefully. So between that, those two things, pretty much you try to just get the best shots you can, and hopefully you're in the right spots, and you'll see your pictures online one way or another.
More fun to cover Ohio State than a good high school game, or
let me think about that for a minute. I had the privilege of doing YSU for all these years before I did Ohio State, and I never missed a game there. I was very lucky in seeing Coach Tressel's career there as well. But Ohio State's a different animal, to this day, like I said, I haven't missed a home game, and that band comes down on the field. I have some pregame stuff to do. You look for recruits who are there, because then you report up to their press box and let them know some of the kids you see or you visually see there. They say they're coming, but they want to get an idea if they're there or not. And before you know it, here comes the band across the field, and Ohio State's got some of the greatest fight songs. Good thing about Boardman, if you go to Boardman game Friday night, you get to hear everything there. You even see
was there
Script
last
Ohio
week.
with the great
they did a
Boardman
great
Spartans.
job. Yep.
Unfortunately, the game didn't turn out very well in the playoffs for them, but you get some Ohio State, you get ready to go, and then in the morning, sometimes 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm hitting the highway and heading downtown. But it's either one's fun. If I have to, there's not much of a choice to make.
Yeah.
But I enjoy all of it.
Sure,
I enjoyed
I know.
YSU. I enjoy the high school. I haven't missed a state title game. Maybe I'm sure others have done it in football, basketball, and track since probably the late 90s. And now the last 2 years I have, because the last day of state Division I is when Ohio State's in the Big Ten championship. So I had to leave after Friday night, and head on out to Indianapolis. So I've missed a couple of games, but I haven't missed a tournament since like late 90s on all three sports.
That's always really good stuff, isn't it?
It is. Even track, people don't understand.
I've enjoyed doing that the couple times that I did.
It is, and there's local kids, and there's football recruits that are in there. That's one of the reasons why I'm there, obviously. But just great. You see the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat right there on the finish line. And basketball is always great, boys and girls. I haven't been to the girls in the last couple of years. It's just too much because they're one week after another, the tournament. So, but I've seen. I didn't see LeBron, but I've saw right after is when I started going to the boys tournaments in basketball. Football was a little bit sooner, and that's why I started going to basketball and track after that. Right after LeBron left, probably 2004, I think O.J. Mayo was there, and a couple of those guys I got to see. So all of it's fun. It's a labor of love, and again, if it wasn't for my brother Chuck starting this all out in the late 80s, I'd probably just be another guy on the bench or up in the stands rooting on some of my favorite teams.
He was a special guy, your brother. Yeah. I knew you had I always enjoy talking with him, and there was a story, I believe, about the Ursuline championship game, and am I right about that, about Keith's?
Keith, yeah, you are. Oh, well, some players I get involved with a little bit more as a friendship. You follow some guys all along the way. And Keith Teague from Ursuline, if this is what you're referring to, just a great kid. And, in high school, he had his troubles since he left Ursuline, and I think he's still trying to catch on some brand of football, college before I think he has 2 more years. But we were always great. And I texted him when they were playing Coldwater that morning, and it had to be 2010.
I was covering the game.
And I wished him good luck. Because he's one of my favorite players, and he's a good player. And he texts, the first one's for your brother. I'm driving on the road. Well, after I pulled over for a little bit. I'm sorry.
No, that's understandable.
And he texted me back. I just text him good luck real quick.
Yeah, right.
And he texted me back and said, the first one's for your brother. And it was just not long after he passed.
There it was.
So.
And then he did it.
And then he did it, and he looked at me in the end zone. So it was a...
That's nice.
Say what you want about the kid if you don't know him. He's had his run-ins.
Right.
I can't say nothing but great things about him and things I've experienced just on that alone, and that's unique that you kind of remember that.
Yeah, I remember you told me that story, and I was thinking about that. And,
but Chuck's affected a lot of people, and because of the great Sam Cavelli, Panera's and O'Charlie's and I think Dairy Queen's now, we have a summer golf tournament every year since he passed, and we've raised over $50,000.
Fantastic.
Since then, and Sam Cavelli's been a major sponsor of it, and without him, we know we're going to make money going into the tournament already, and Sam's just a great guy, a big Ohio State booster. He's got his name up on the stadium ceiling, or stadium wall up there, and he has a couple of buildings going to be named after his family. So Sam's been great, and he sponsors our tournament. We've raised $50,000 or more for a YSU journalism scholarship.
Wow.
In Chuck's name, that we've helped kids pay their tuition, and it's been a great thing.
Tremendous. It really is.
And we appreciate everybody who's backed it and come to it and helped us out along the way.
It shows we have a lot really in that regard, and not just with sports, but so many great people in this community.
There is. And Chuck worked for Gavelli for 33 years, McDonald's and then Panera's, and he stepped right up and did a great job. And without, like I said, we know we're making money before the tournament even kicks off. So Sam's been a great guy, and he's been a great sponsor for us. And if he just appreciates, Chuck worked a lot of years for him. And
of course, you mentioned earlier about the Valley Playbook. That was a great thing you guys were doing. And what made that so unique in what you guys were able to accomplish?
I think it was Chuck's vision at first, because we really didn't know what we were going to do. We just started doing it, and it all, we had the relationship with YSU. Chuck was in the journalism department. He was the sports editor at Jam Bar, and of course people knew him from the area, stringing for the Vindicator as well. So we just decided let's make a go of it, and it was his impetus to help us get everything going, and then Ray provided support as well. At the time, with more so with technology was kind of just it wasn't like now, and we would cut and paste and do all that kind of stuff for us. Now you do everything on the computer and stuff, but Ray had his input and helped financially as well, and like I said, he brought photography to us more or less, and then I had no photography skills, and I still don't. I still learn to this day from some of the photographers that I work with. I just try to pick the brain of everybody, and every year I try to more reps. Things help more and more. So it just kind of evolved, and then we started to do Ray had the swimsuit issue. I don't know if you remember any of those from the past. We had kind of unique. We had that, and then we had the cutouts from the
Everybody likes the swimsuit issue.
We had the cutouts from the Vindicator. They had how to do their all-city teams.
Yeah, right.
We did that in our paper. That was real popular, and it was just a monthly tabloid, and Chuck had his crunch time column, and it just went from there. We'd do one or two stories. We'd try to cover all the conferences. We had the different leagues back then, a little bit different from now. And it was just fun, and we went into basketball pretty much, and then we did some baseball, but football was the big thing, and it was just a way to another source for people. It's not like the internet now, where you just go on the internet. At that time, it was a paper tabloid, and it was monthly, and it was a pretty good success for a while there. We had a nice 10-year run, and like I said, nothing. Look what it's led for me. I've helped it by kind of getting involved with the Bucknuts people, but it went from Buckeye Sports Bulletin to Bucknuts now. Bucknuts.com, if I may, is our site. We're on the 24/7 network, OSU .247, and it's I would have never, like I said, met the people that I've met, the coaches that I've met, and having opportunities like this or being on the radio if Chuck never got us involved in the Valley Playbook in 1989.
This might not be a question you can answer, anybody for that matter. Is high school football better today as compared to then, or the same, or maybe not? Or
I don't know. That's kind of rough to say, because you don't want to get people angry at you. But I think this particular year is really a down year in the Valley. We'll see how the playoffs end up, and who's fortunate enough to keep advancing if they do.
We had more teams get in than we were having the playoffs, but.
I don't know. I wish teams would challenge themselves more offensively.
Okay.
We see kind of cookie cutter, same thing every year by certain teams, instead of making it use your talents. Don't use your system. Use the kids and let them do what they do, and study off season. Be innovative. You see teams like Louisville who put a whooping on Poland.
I saw them earlier in the year.
The Tri-Valley put a whooping on Boardman. They don't just line up and hand off the ball. They run screens. They run curls. They throw first downs at the stick. They run the ball. Louisville got a great running attack, and they could throw the ball. We don't see a lot of that. We see, here's what we do, and stop us, And when you could beat up the same teams you play and maybe the first round, but you're not going to go much further than that. And Harding at the time was still involved here, and they got a lot of speed. We'll see if they're able to advance in D2. There's a couple teams that might have a shot. Some of the lower level teams. Right. So we'll see how that ends up. But I wish teams would really try to challenge themselves more offensively and use their skill and use their athletes, and don't just run this because this is what we do and this is what we've done, because you don't have as many players anymore. The area's maybe not as populated. Is that a reason why?
That's part of it, I think. But it's still pretty good stuff, though.
We're not poorhouse here, but I would just wish people would challenge themselves offensively in every way. Work off season, improve yourself, and obviously the strength and everything's probably a lot stronger than 20 years ago, and the preparation athletically. But I think we haven't evolved with the times offensively. I think if that's a fair statement to make, as far as the schemes and different things you can do to become real precise at it, not just, we can do this. But Louisville's a great team, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know if they're going to advance how far, but just conceptually, they're just fun to watch. I watched them beat Salem, and they just really beat them up pretty bad. Now, I don't know if they'll have great success with Hoban and a couple other teams if they advance, but you know, they just know how to use the players and use different plays and screens, and that's all.
It's a variation.
Yeah, pretty
compared
much.
to other scenarios. But just to shift gears, what's it like to cover or be involved or be around the Urban Meyer situation at Ohio State compared to Jim Tressel?
Well, how can you go wrong? I mean, you had the great Jim Tressel, now the president of Youngstown State University, and geez, what more could you want? The success that he's had during his run at Ohio State. Unfortunately, things happened. He's not there. Luke Fickell took over for a year.
Yep.
We thought maybe he could be the guy, but no, he really wasn't. The next thing you know, Urban Meyer comes in, and you're going from, boy, he's like he has that rock star personality. He's just,
More so, yeah.
than
Right.
Coach Tressel, and he has that. You know, he's pretty open and honest with you about everything, injuries,
Okay.
status of players. You know, Tressel would once in a while you'd have to figure out what he was
Okay.
saying, but nothing negative. I'm just saying.
Right, I understand.
We're
yeah.
Urban.
Everybody's different.
Urban, he let you know. I mean,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, they suffered the setback with J.T. Barrett having that discretion that he was involved with. Hopefully, he comes back strong, and can advance because not only the Illinois game, then you have Michigan State, Michigan, and then might have to beat an undefeated Iowa team.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten championships are a lot of fun if you have a chance to.
Oh, I bet.
Anybody. It's
Yeah.
just the stadium where they play, Lucas Oil, is just great. They really do a great job there, and I'm hoping it's 3 in a row for the Buckeyes, and then they advance in the top 4, hopefully.
We're almost out of time, unfortunately, because we could go on about a lot of different things. But of course, the way they finished the year last year to win the championship and going into the season as they did, and a lot of folks expect them to go out and just pulverize everybody, and it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Certainly, they probably can play better than they have, but in your mind, and I feel they can. Do they win the national title?
Everything's based on strength of schedule right now, and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But the eye test tells you Ohio State's a little better than some of these other teams.
I think so.
Clemson's number 1. Okay, good for you. I think we're second. Alabama was second, but you look at the talent, and now JT, if he settles in and runs
Right.
off a few victories, things will take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But second and third, they play each other. That won't make any difference. You don't want to fall to 4 or even out at 5.
Yeah.
But I think we just got to run the table, and I think Ohio State's superior to every team on their schedule right now,
Correct.
remaining,
Yeah.
even Michigan, which will be tough because you
Yeah,
got that
yeah,
10-year
yeah,
war.
yeah.
If you remember when they had Ohio State in
Harbaugh
'69,
there.
now with Bo Schembechler, they first year there was a 10-year war, and they beat us when we were supposed to maybe win again the national championship. So I mean, you got to hope that they're going to take care of business, and if they do, once in the Final Four. Why not? Why not Ohio State repeat
All right.
national championship? Ezekiel Elliott's a great player, and
Absolutely.
Joey Bosa's great on defense, and it's they're the Buckeyes.
Well, Gary, it's been great to sit and talk with you. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do any more here, but great to see you again, and we'll see you out on the football field. Good luck the rest of the way.
I want to thank you for this opportunity to have
My
me on the
pleasure.
show, and it's been a lot of fun working with you, Jim.
Go Bucks!
Go Bucks.
All right, we'll be back to wrap it up here on Loose Change right after this.
Turn your whole home on to high-definition programming. With Armstrong's HD digital adapter, it's easier and more affordable than ever. The HD TV in the kitchen? Finally get high-definition picture and sound. The HD TV in the family room? Add all your favorite high-def channels at a price you can afford. Our HDDA now features an on-screen guide. To order your HD digital adapters, visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/turniton. Armstrong, One Wire, infinite possibilities.
Well, that's going to do it for our show. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks to Greg Roten, and certainly to Gary Housteau. I'm Jim Evans. We'll see you next time right here on Loose Change. Go Bucks. Go Penguins. Go Browns. I got to go.